Final question, 3D. This is the NCEA 2015 final exam for Algebra. And the question says, let's have a look, quadratic equation, mx squared minus m plus 2x plus 2 equals 0. It says has two positive real roots. So it says find the possible values of m and the roots of the equation. So we've got two parts to it, right? So find the possible values of m. That's the first bit we'll do. In fact, I'm going to divide this into two straight away because I can see this might be a quite a lengthy process. So the first thing is we've got the equation, and I can see we've already got clearly defined coefficients. So the coefficients, so I'll write it out again. So really we've got mx squared minus m plus 2, which really for me is negative m minus 2, x plus 2 is 0. So let's identify then the a, b, and c values for the discriminant. So the discriminant, two positive real roots. In other words, the discriminant is going to be greater than 0, and that's the basis under which we're going to proceed. So I'm going to write the discriminant expression there in a moment. But let's have a look. Let's say, so a here is going to equal m. B is this bit here, which is negative m plus 2. And it's the whole of that. Really, it's negative m minus 2, as I said before. And c is just going to be 2. So let's now populate the quadratic, on what I'm talking about. The discriminant, negative b squared minus 4ac is going to be greater than 0. I'm not going to be too worried about where the inequality and equals line up. I would like to get them under each other, but I'm constricted in space here, and I know it's not going to play out quite as I'd like. So b is equal to negative m plus 2. So I'm going to write that out. So it's, in fact, really I'm going to write minus m minus 2. I'm much happier with that. And I'm going to write it twice because I'm just going to sit there and multiply them to each other, yeah? Minus 4 times a, which is m, times c, which is 2. And it's going to be greater than 0. All right. So let's go ahead now. So I'm going to say, well, negative m times negative m, that's going to be positive m squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 is going to be positive 4. And I've got negative 2 times m, which is 2m, and another negative 2 times m, which is another 2m. So I've got plus 4m. Now, what have I got on the end here? Negative 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 8, sorry, minus 8, and it's times m. So m greater than 0. All right, let's collect like terms. So what have I got here? I've got an m squared, and I've got a 4m minus 8m. I'll cross these out as I do them, which is minus 4m plus 4 is greater than 0. So the first thing I'm going to do, I mean, this is quite easy to factorize this one. So in fact, let's go ahead and factorize it. So really we've got, and I can see here we've got an m and an m. Signs are going to be the same, but they're both negative in this case. Here we go. Signs are the same, both negative, and I've got a 2 and, wait, yeah, I got a 2 and a 2. Absolutely fantastic. So straight away we've got, and that's all going to be greater than 0. So in a way you could write just m minus 2 all squared is greater than 0. So in terms of finding, I'll put here, find critical value, and if we find the critical value, find crit val, or vals, we're able to then go ahead and work out where is this thing centered around, or around which bit is this centered. So, so we've got m minus 2 is going to be greater than 0, or m minus 2 is greater than 0, because I've got 2 of them, yeah? So m is going to be greater than 2, yes, because I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Now that is my critical value. So I'm actually going to get rid of that thing there. I'm just going to put equals, yeah? Because these are critical values. I'm not worried about the greater than and less than. I'm just going to say is equal to 2. M is 2. So that is equals 0. So m is 2. So what does that mean? So if I was to draw this out, and I'm going to draw it into a little bit of a graph here. So here, these are my values of m, and this is my function of m, or f of m, if you like. There it is. and I've got a value of m is 2, so there's my 2. And of course over here this would be crossing at 4, there's a 4, and it would look something like, I'm going to turn it on one side just so I can draw it reasonably. I won't draw it very well, but there it is, it's touching there, it goes up. Now of course this is touching at 1 point, but we don't want 1 point, we want 2 points, and they must be positive. In other words, they must be both on this side of the map. So so in other words, if you were to draw this out, you could end up with something that looks, and I'll just draw it again. So in other words, either we want it to look something like this, yeah, and with 2 being at like over here, or we want it to be something like over here, yes, but we still want 2 points, yeah, it's got to cross at 2 points, and that's really what we're after. In fact, I'm not sure exactly how that would look, but I'm just spitballing here. But let's just call it f of m again, and this is going to be our m value here. But in other words, it's going to cross at 1, 2 points. That's what we're saying. But it doesn't cross at 1, yes? So as we increase or decrease m, it's going to move somewhere around here. But it's just not going to be here, because that's 1 point. That means, therefore, because it has to be so because m cannot cross, I should say, cannot intersect. Let's get the terminology right here. Cannot intersect at 1 or only 1 point. M cannot equal 2, yeah? So if we go back to the equation here, in other words, m cannot be 2, and that makes sense, because if m was 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, and that is not greater than 0. So that's the first thing which we're noticing. It cannot be 2, yeah? All right, so, yeah, so that makes sense. So we've now actually found ourselves in a situation where we found the first bit, yeah? Find the possible values of m. So m can be any value, but not 2, yeah? So therefore we'll put, therefore m can be any other value, I put val, yeah? So there it is. All right, so that being the case, now let's go ahead and find the next part, which are the roots of the equation. Now, of course, m here, and this here's got very little to do with the roots. This is not a root of equation. While it is a root of the discriminant, it's not the root of the equation. The discriminant only describes the possible values of the coefficients, or in this case, parts of the coefficients, that make this equation true. But they're not the roots. The roots are the values of x that make this equation what it is. So let's go ahead and find the values of x. So again, we've got our a, b, and c, but this time let's use the quadratic formula. So let's go ahead and try it using that. So quadratic formula, of course, and I'll try it up here, is minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's the value for x, yeah? And that's really what we're after now. We're after x. So therefore, I'll put therefore x is equal to, so I've got negative b. So put negative, and I'm going to put this in brackets because I've actually got another negative side. The b is negative m plus 2. So I'm going to put negative m plus 2. There it is. So I've got negative m plus 2, and that's also in brackets as well. Or I tell you what, I can make my life really easy and just do this. Negative m minus 2. Just like I had here, negative m minus 2. And that works perfectly well. This is going to be plus or minus, and here we've got the square root of b squared. So I've got negative m minus 2 all squared. So negative m minus 2 all squared, there it is, minus 4 times a, and a was m, times c, and c was This is going to be a squinch to get it all in there. Oh, 2. That makes, oh wait, yes, 2 is CS2. All over 2a. So all of that goes over 2a, and that's going to be 2m. All right. So let's now, let's just simplify that a little bit. We've got ourselves in a real tangle here in a way. Well, negative m now, negative m is, well, that's negative times negative m is going to be a plus m. And negative times negative 2 is going to be a plus 2. There it is. So that makes life nice and easy. Then we're going to go plus or minus, and I've got my square root thingy here. Now, if I square that, that's going to be exactly the same as just saying negative m minus 2. So let's just see the best way of actually saying that. I've got, let's see, have I actually written that correctly? Yeah. So this is going to be negative m times negative m, yeah, minus 4 times m times 2. So I'm just going to go negative m. Well, we know what negative m times negative m is. It's going to be m squared. Here we go. It's going to be m squared. I'm going to use this bit down here, yeah, because we've already worked this out, yes. It's going to be m squared minus 4, no, plus 4m plus 4. So it's going to be m squared plus 4m plus 4 minus 4m times 2 minus 8m all over 2m. And we know what this is, of course. This is going to be m plus 2 plus or minus, and let's have a look. I've got that. Now, I probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I'm actually thinking, no, that's probably not the best way of doing that. Minus 4ac. Oh, no, it works out fine, because we know all of this here is the same as all of this here. And all of that comes to m minus 2, m minus 2, or in other words, m minus 2 all squared. That's what they come to. That's what it was. Sorry, I'm not even thinking. I'm trying to solve this in my head, and all the time we've already done it all over here. And so now this is all just divided by 2m. Now, of course, the square root of m minus 2 all squared is just m minus 2. So it's equal to m plus 2. And I'm going to go plus m minus 2 all over 2m. So what does that equal? So that, or the other one, which is, in fact, I'll write it underneath. I'm not going to. Or m plus 2 minus m minus 2, yeah? All over 2m. So this first one here then, I've got an m and an m and a 2 and a 2. So m and an m is going to be 2m. So this is going to equal to 2m. And of course 2 minus 2 disappears, divided by 2m, which equals 1. So there's my first solution. This one here, though, I'm going to rewrite this equals, I'm going to put, hang on, that's going to be m plus 2 minus m plus 2 all over 2m. Well, m minus m is 0. 2 plus 2 is 4 all over 2m. And 4 over 2m, if I divide both ends by 2, I just get 2 over m. So they are my two factors. I've got a factor of 1, and I've got a factor of 2 over m. So I'm going to write there. So therefore, factors are 1 and 2 over m. And we should make a note that where m cannot be 2. And that's how I would go ahead and write my solution to that. Hope that makes sense.